Atlanta is the home of Black culture right now, with a lot of opportunities in many of the fields that African Americans are interested in: music, film, and even private sector. But there is something else going on in Atlanta: a lot of liberal acceptance towards the LGBTQ. This is not new. This has always been there. And in fact, when I was graduating high school, we all heard about the legendary Lenox Small and who hung out there. And if you guys ever heard about Lenox Small, you know what I'm talking about. That is something that I heard about even 20 years ago. But now there's something that's new in Atlanta, which is the transgender movement. Now, according to this article, the trans community in Atlanta is growing and getting more and more unclockable. These days, it's virtually impossible for anyone to tell whether an Atlanta woman is trans or whether she was born with female body parts. Not too long ago, I covered the story of an individual who was dealing with a person or an individual that he felt was a lady. He got home and found out this.
Investigators say the teenage suspect was so enraged that after shooting the victim multiple times, he left and then returned to the crime scene to open fire once again. Police say video from the neighborhood led them to the alleged killer, 18-year-old Orlando Perez, now held without bond. Investigators say Perez had gone home with the victim, 37-year-old Selena Reyes Hernandez, shortly after meeting her on the morning of May 31st. And in her basement apartment in Marquette Park, Perez learned Reyes Hernandez was transgender.
The offender became very upset. He left the residence. He became more upset, and that's when he came back to the residence. And then he brutally murdered the victim in this case.
Now, although this happened in Chicago, this case is not unfamiliar. This is happening more and more across the nation. Let's get back to Atlanta. I have a friend that lives in Atlanta, and he tells me he doesn't want to date somebody that's trans. He only wants to date somebody that was born a female. But it's very difficult for him to tell who is a female or not because the surgeries are so good. He will only deal with the woman, get this, drum roll please, that already has kids. Any woman that doesn't have kids, he avoids them. Basically, I guess for people who think like him, it's a great time to be a single mom in Atlanta. Rewind! But let me kind of get to the whole point of this situation. There was a YouTuber that pretty much weighed in on this topic. Is a man gay if he sleeps with a transgender woman?
When a guy sees you walking in the mall or walking at the park, he does not see your vajayjay. He sees your femininity. He sees your long hair. He sees your beautiful smile. He sees your gorgeous eyes. He smells you. He sees your fashion. These are the things that encompass your femininity and womanhood, and these are the things that you present, and these are the things that men are attracted to first and primarily. Now, let's answer the age-old question of, are you gay if you have sex with someone of the same sex? And the answer is simply no. Straight men will a pillow, they will their hand, they will a sock, okay? It does not make them pillow sexual. It does not make them sock sexual. It does not make them hand amorous. That is not how that works. Just from definition alone, no, straight men are not gay if they have sex with a guy because they are not exclusively attracted to someone of the same sex. Going back to my pillow analogy, you can reach your O with a pillow. You can reach an O with your hand or a sock or a teddy bear, okay? But it does not make you attracted necessarily to your pillow or to your teddy bear. Now, some weird people are attracted to their pillow or their teddy bear, but most people aren't. They're just getting themselves off.
I mean, when I was coming up, we already know what the answer is. Today, people are really trying to change what's going on. Now, for many guys, we've seen how the culture is even supporting men who are even caught in sex scandals with other men. Isaiah Rashad was having a sexual relationship with two men and the video leaked. He then came out as sexually fluid. The whole world gave him a round of applause. We've also seen this with Darius McCrary and Sydney Starr.
In business, we have a whole show on the way. We about to make millions. Let them know. This is a business meeting. I feel like Blueface right now. Blue, I'm your Krishan Rod.
Just go get a tooth with my face on it.
I'm your Krishan Rod.
Just go get it.
Krishan Rock and Blueface, here we come.
No.
Wait, they got back together.
No, that's not what we're trying to do. That's not.
We're money makers.
But for me, the major thing is transgender women replacing what they would consider, or what society considers, cis women, or what I would just consider women in media and society. Let me give you guys a good example of what I'm talking about. These two individuals are Tokyo Styles and Simone Teshi. They are transgender ladies, okay? And the reason why I'm using that is because this is YouTube, so we're using those terms. Transgender ladies who are in Atlanta, one is from Omaha, I believe that's Tokyo Styles, and the other person is a makeup artist. Now, if you look at them, some people might be able to tell that, hey, this individual might not be a lady or whatever. For me, the one on the right, I really just couldn't tell. But like I said, the article says they look like the newest cast members on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. And see, what you don't know is within a few years, if not already, they will be on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. And this is something that Kamala Harris is going to protect. Now, I have no problem with anybody being gay or LGBTQ, just like people in Atlanta. But I am concerned that women who are actually born women are going to have positions replaced because of the inclusivity of trans women. And this is what is being put out there in society. There is no delineation between the two that people want to actually respect those boundaries. And so this is why you're seeing a lot of friction between transgender men or women. And they like, look, you know, I feel like I'm a man. I don't need to disclose my sexuality or who I am to anybody else. This is what I feel and what should be happening. And of course, you know, hey, there are a lot of people that would be okay with accepting whoever as the way they are. The reality, though, is that some people are not going to be happy with this. And the reason why some people may not be happy with this is because, firstly, women are already complaining that they're having a hard time at all dating and mating in Atlanta. We already know they're trying to basically say that all the men in Atlanta are on the DL.
They most likely have a wife or a girlfriend or living a double life. And majority of the men don't even like women in Atlanta.
But for the men who are dealing with women who are born women and that's what they like, then the question is, what happens if you're a man and you find out that, hey, well, the lady that I'm dealing with is not the kind of lady I want to deal with? Again, where is the delineation? And it's almost like it's being like forced on you. You know, you're forced to accept it. And if you are saying that I don't really want to date somebody that's a transgender, or I feel like transgender women are getting more rights than women who are born naturally that, then it's unfair, then there's an issue. And I know we talk about Kamala Harris so much for what she's doing for immigrants and migrants and what she's not going to do for the African American community. But here's something that she's also going to do. She is a very big supporter of the LGBTQ. And like I said, that's okay. But again, just like immigrants and migrants are going to replace the black community, I also feel that a lot of transgenders are going to replace a lot of women who were born that way. And is that necessarily fair for the women out there in the black community that want to have an opportunity as a woman? Like, just imagine, you know, we talk about what's going on with the migrant crisis and things like that, and how the migrants are coming over and they're taking over tax dollars, okay, and they're going to get benefits. Well, what about a woman who would be able to get an opportunity because she's born a woman, and then you have a person that was born a male and feels like, you know what, well, I'm actually a woman in a man's body, I want to change. And then now that person that was a male can now say, well, I want to be a woman now, and I get all of the rights that this individual has who was born a woman, and now that woman is not protected anymore because of those rights. Like, is that fair to the lady who was born a lady? Where's the delineation? And you're already seeing it in the dating world. They're trying to already say, hey, if you deal with a transgender woman, that don't make you gay, that don't make you, that just makes you like women. And then, well, clearly that there is a difference between trans and cis, and anything you want to do, it's trans is on the opposite side, cis is the same side. In chemistry, trans and cis are not the same. Trans and cis typically are spatial and directional arrangements. That's what they are, and they are there for a reason. And so because they're trans and cis, there is a delineation between the two terms. That's it, and that's all. People may not like it, but it is what it is. Again, let me also talk about this point. If you're a man and you are from the, heterosexual community and you are caught, let's say you didn't know, dating a transgender woman, I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of embarrassment that comes with that. It's a lot of shame that comes with that. And it's no hate on anybody, but a lot of people, for whatever reason, they will consider themselves, I'm gay now. People will castigate them, even if they didn't know. And that leads to certain levels of, people could feel violated because they didn't know. And now, the person is going out saying that they're not this and they're not that, and they're not being open. Now that person feels violated. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell. We're out.